Hey everybody, this is a quick update on November 8th, 2024. Sitting outside, it's a little sunny, so I've got my visor on, so I had a few minutes. I just invited, doing it spontaneously, so sorry, I just posted on on our Revealing the Jewels of Autism page, so not sure how many people will actually get to see it live. You know how it goes with the way things are around here. I just have to see if I have a moment and just go for it. So it's November 8th, and just lots and lots of cosmic activity going on in the cosmos and how it's affecting the Earth. I am seeing, I had posted recently that seeing the Mother Arc gates and activation of the Mother Arc gates or opening. And a couple of days ago on Wednesday, I was driving with my kids. We usually, Chris and Sam, and we usually take a drive around by the ocean. That's our kind of entertainment when we can get everybody together. But as I was driving, then I could tell Sammy was going through something energetic, and so I started tuning in to see what was going on. Just with toning and light language and things like that. And you can hear Sammy. I'm right outside her room. And I started seeing these like fireballs coming. And I saw it, the words I saw was the Father Arc, and it started streaming through, and I thought, what in the world is happening with the Father Arc? And could see that it was like an activation of the Mother Arc gate. So it's like a fertilization, you know, by the Father. So Mother Arc is accessing deep into beyond what we've known as the quantum field. Is the only way I can explain it at this time. So really deep quantum layers that we're activating. So the Mother Arc gates, there are 12 of them, is my understanding, and around the planet. So they're dimensional, and that's how the Earth accesses, connects, the physical Earth connects into the quantum field, subatomic realms. And so then the Father is now activating them, these Mother Arc gates. And then a couple of days later, or maybe that same evening, I think it was in the evening, and I was starting to see this 14th dimensional gate. Now, the 14th dimensional gate, I don't think anybody else really talks about it. And maybe people talk about it in a different way, in a different language. But we saw it opening about a year ago. And Chastity was actually working with us kind of remotely. I don't think her presence was there, let's say. I don't think the human actively knew, but although after I contacted her, she said there was a lot going on in her body, and she was kind of aware of things happening. So, and there may have been other people also with us, other souls, but I just was aware of Sam, and Chastity, that we were facilitating this, and it was coming in through Tanzania. So Sammy had me look at the map on Wednesday evening and pinpoint where the this this 14th dimensional gate is, and I pinpointed it to a location. I can't remember the name of it. It's north off of a lake, one of the lakes there in Tanzania. It starts with an M. I can't remember the name right now. And Tanzania, I didn't realize, is near the equator in Africa. So the 14th dimensional gate is significant because the these harmonic universes, let's say, so the 13th dimension is like a universe, and the 14th dimension is like a universe, the 15th dimension is like a universe. So they operate in triads, in threes. So the 13th, 14th, and 15th dimension has been known as the fifth harmonic universe. Uh, so that's significant. The 14D gate is significant because then this is the balance in a sense. So if we have the mother, the father, mother 13D, father 15D, then this 14th dimensional access would be like the Christos-Sophia. And it's important because it's the triad, like the Trinity. They operate as like a Trinity, and that would be like the Christos-Sophia. It's also what Sam showed me a couple of years ago is that the 18th dimension, which is part of a triune arc, and I won't go into that here. It's hard to explain it in a short terms without like an image, but the 18th dimension is there's almost like a direct connection from the 18th dimension to the 14th dimension, to 14D, and this transmission from 18D from beyond time and space, let's say, brings through um, pulses or rays, breath. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint. It's kind of all of those things depending on how you look at it. And we have a connection once you kind of start to transfigure your body at the still point, like let's say on your back. It's connecting to there's a 14D connection, and so when that comes in, it's and the mother and the father are ignited, um, then there's an alchemy which transforms our body to what we call the gold body, that people have been talking about, that the gold human, the idea of, what alchemy was originally, that they were trying to make gold out of other metals. And I can see now where that kind of comes from, that concept comes from, but like we're the gold body, so to speak. So this 14th dimensional gate now is open. It's transmitting. It is going through the ley lines, starting to really move through all the ley lines. And I don't know how other people are feeling, but I mean, last night I could barely sleep because I could just feel all this like liquid. It's not even liquid, but liquid. Some state between being liquid and like a fine dust is the only way I could describe it. Kind of going through my entire body. I could feel it between my toes, and multicolored, uh, but very, very soft pastel kind of multicolored, and this feeling of my body being pushed together, the left and the right sides. So you imagine that the mother and father, the cosmic mother, cosmic father are here, and it, the father has fertilized, the mother are gates, so there is a natural kind of union happening. The energy is to unify everything in that trinity. So the 14th dimension, again, is like a unifying field um, to express that Christ-Sophia aspect that the human was created to be. So it's it's becoming more and more physical, and this is going to obviously cause us to have deeper cleansings, and easier to come into unity. The brain, both sides of the brain, coming into wholeness and oneness, easier to for the whole brain functioning to happen. So this is big stuff in a sense. I mean, it's big because with this unifying energy, um, it's and sort of pushing everything together. Uh, all polarities, anything that was operating in duality, um, especially like right after our election here in the U.S., it's this is incredibly significant. Um, and I know people have mixed feelings about Donald Trump, and our political systems. Um, Hi, Lori. Hi, Connie. Thank you for joining. I know it was just one of those things popping in, so I'm glad you were able to pop in. But yeah, hopefully, watch it from the beginning to get the flavor of what I'm talking about, because this is, like I was saying, this is massive. This is massive stuff. The polarities coming together, the unifying field. I mean, literally, like just this feeling of being pushed together in my body, the center. I could feel the center, those center hara lines just being pushed together. And then in the outer world, with our political system here in the U.S., the Democrats, Republicans, almost acting like a polarity, and so this push to unify, it feels like it's going to have a real impact now on our political system. I was even seeing this morning, I was having a vision of, before being fully awake, of this awareness that the Democrats in Congress are even going to start to, maybe not all of them at first, but they're going to start to vote with the Republicans. They, right now, it looks like, I think the Republicans have the Senate, and the Republicans have the Senate, and it looks like they also have the House of Representatives, even though they're still kind of waiting on some outlying areas or all the counts to come in, But it really felt like they're going to start to vote with the Republicans. And I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I've always been registered as an independent, because I always felt like, you know, I want to be able to vote based on what I feel is right, and sometimes you see issues and you agree with a Republican issue, or you agree with a Democratic, issue. And so it's time to stop voting based on party lines, as all of you watching know, but to do what's right, what feels right. And so, probably all of you have seen now the map across the U.S. and all the red states, that flipped. The amount of Republicans that went Republican is really amazing. And what the other amazing thing is that people don't know. My husband showed me this image this morning, this photo, and I'll post it somewhere if people are interested. But even in California, which right, we saw that as a blue state, it was all Democratic, but it was it's very interesting if you look at the individual counties or the districts, because California, in the outlying, more rural areas, it's almost all red. It's red. It's not, it's just blue on the outer edge, where on the coastlines where the biggest cities are, like Los Angeles and San Francisco, because in this country it goes by electoral votes, they call it, and so the bigger the population in a certain area, the more electoral votes that area gets. So Los Angeles, was primarily Democratic. It was blue, and so the electoral votes, the representatives of the electoral votes, they have to cast their vote based on what the uh, the population voted for. But it was, I mean, I was amazed. I was completely flabbergasted. Um, and they still, Trump still has his work to cut out for him, in the sense that, people are really expecting that that they're going to do something. It's not just a bunch of words, but they're going to have to really act on this, because the election showed, um, they were all speculating, doing their polls, and oh, it looks like it's tight, but no, I mean, it was showing that a lot of the moderate Democrats, flipped. Um, I don't know if that's really the right word, but that the working class people in this country are really, they're not heard. You know, regardless of what the CPI, the Consumer Price Index says, that we're back to, quote, the pre-levels at 2019. That's what they use in this country for, as a measurement of inflation, how the cost of living, those kind of things. And my understanding is, I'm listening to some other financial people or an economics people, a few years ago, that the CPI has been played with many years ago. It depends on what kinds of goods that you put into the, quote, basket of, and they measure the costs of what people need to eat, those kind of things, and rent, and those kind of things, cost of housing, and now they switched out things to, like, the cheapest food, you know. I mean, really, it makes no sense. So it's really not an indicator, in this country. At least they're really, uh, people who are really paying attention. That it's not an indicator of how people are actually doing. And so, in that sense, you know, um, the Democrats were disconnected from what was really going on with the people, and I think that's what the election showed. And again, I have my concerns about Trump as well. He's got to put up now, and then we don't know what other shenanigans are going to be played between now and actually getting into the office. But there's, with this just tremendous energy of unify, you have to unify, because the Father, the Mother, and the Christos-Sophia, through the 13th, 14th, and 15th dimensions, it is here. It is here. Um, and I know a lot of the rest of the world, they look to this country because of our Constitution, which is, uh, you know, kind of been trampled on, right, in my opinion, um, that we're going to start to walk the talk. The U.S. is not very well liked in other parts of the world, because of how it has, um, uh, that we've overstepped our bounds at times, and meanwhile we have a lot of. I don't know if you can hear Sammy, but she's in there going, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, that we have not been walking the talk. And I've listened to. I did not like Trump at all in 2016, and concerned that he was trying to be an isolationist and all those kinds of things. But I can see some of the points that he's making now. That just because the U.S. was taking on the burden to fund certain, you know, uh, national defenses in other parts of the world, it's like just because we've been doing it for 60 years, it doesn't mean that we should keep doing that forever, right? I mean, times have changed, and times are changing. The consciousness has to change, and um, we have to focus on our own inner country, first, and taking care of the people that are here. I was talking to my mom a couple of weeks ago, and she's in Korea. I'm Korean, and I moved here when I was about 4 or 5 years old. Um, but she was saying that they're all worried that Trump is going to win because uh, they're going to have South Korea pay for their, national defense, or themselves, that kind of thing. And I was like, Mom, but you don't understand what's going on within our country here, that within our own borders, that we have a lot of um, that open border in Mexico. It's bringing in a flood of drug problems. The fentanyl problem is worse here than ever, as a lot of you listening probably are. I mean, I had a friend whose son died of a fentanyl overdose. There are young kids, 16 years old, within a 10-mile radius here who are dying of fentanyl overdoses. So as much as they want to talk about that we have to help Ukraine and we have to help Israel because this is what we've always done, and Trump wants to stop funding, uh, you know, certain, or drop, maybe cut back on its funding with NATO, I don't know. But I mean, we have to consider that, our national debt is through the roof, and it just keeps getting bigger. We just keep gonna keep printing money, to pay for this, pay for that, and meanwhile, what is really happening with the people in our own country? There are still, the poverty is still exists. Yeah, somebody's asking. I wonder if this unifying will heal Atlantean timelines. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's at such a deep quantum level um, that it's healing our DNA, it's healing all timelines, because it's closing out a whole cycle. It's closing out an entire cycle that we've been in. And at this point, I look at it as lessons that we needed to learn about polarity and how that plays out, even in Lemurian times and even in Atlantean times. Um, so we're closing that out, and in order to be free of that karma, we had to get to this place where we can then be sovereign and own our power, in a sense, but understand what power is. Understand from a that real God source consciousness meaning of what power is. It's not, doesn't mean it's overpowering someone or running someone over or invading countries and destroying them to get their resources. Um, that's not what it means. So this, it's like a cleansing, a freeing, and a rebalancing all at the same time. So it's all happening at once. So this the energy that's coming through the Mother Art gates, it is absolutely healing all timelines that we have traversed through in this lower 3D realm, if you want to call it, or this the densest realm that we've been existing. And so I know other people are talking about it. It feels like, oh, I can so just easily heal my ancestral karma now, or my ancestors, or my ancestral DNA, um, because it's just so readily, available now. Obviously, we're not completely losing density. It's not like we're going to just become our light body in a flash. So there's a process that's happening to our physical bodies, a cleansing, and so this process, I don't know how long it's going to take, but definitely we've crossed a tremendous, tremendous hurdle here, and 2025 is going to um, is going to be another year of revelations. Hopefully, certain documents will be released as Trump is promising, because people need to know the truth in order to understand just how ugly and deep, you know, that this went. The control, and well, some people still deny that that's true, or it's fake news, perhaps, But I think a lot of the politicians, a lot of the people, we've been kind of asleep. I had never really paid attention to what was going on in politics that much. It's a wake-up call for all of us to be a bit more mindful about what these people are voting for. Um, I mean, yeah, it's yet to be seen, but I mean, I feel very, from what I'm seeing, sensing, going on, and again, just having this vision of Democrats going to start to vote, with the Republicans, or whatever, that they're going to start to cross party lines instead of staying rigidly to party lines. So, and Lori is saying that her body has been itchy today. It could be a clearing, itchiness. It reminds me of like an allergic kind of symptom. I don't know if you have rashes. You might start having rashes break out. Uh, 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 so it's like that histamine response of an immune response. So it might not be something from the outside, but it could be things from within your body that's coming up. Viruses that were dormant, that we just learned to kind of deal with, and the immune system, yeah, purge, exactly. So that the immune system goes into kind of a homeostasis and kind of puts a lid on that immune response, but it's not like it's gone, right? It just kind of put a lid on it. So all of that in the skin, deep in the skin, deep in the tissues, in the waters of our body, uh, it's all going to, yeah, your joints are sore. The universe within me is shaking it free. Yeah, the joints, I know, my joints too, especially on the right side. I was having issues, a lot more issues on the right side. And again, that masculine principle, right? The masculine aspect, that I could tell I needed to be healed, in me as well. And so this unifying energy to push both left and right sides together is big. My body was even saying, I love my wife. I love my wife. And I thought, where is that from? And it's my left side, uh, which is married to my right side. Uh, it's like my wife is, I love my wife. So I was like, I love my feminine side. It was kind of funny how that was coming out. But anyway, there's lots of, I mean, it's intense. It's intense. Oh, and one last thing that I'll share, because I feel like it's important, about our waters. So I was talking with my friend Terry this morning, Yeah, Sam is making some sounds back there. Yeah, you can hear. Um, and uh, we were kind of looking at like we were looking at Samantha. There's a lot of things going on in neurology, her brain and everything. But um, I was amazed that the cerebral spinal fluid, the the waters of in our body, the liquid aspects of our body, that the cerebral spinal fluid is actually plays a more pivotal role in rewiring the neurology than anything else. I mean, I was really, that's honestly what was coming up, that it was the cerebral spinal fluid, um, and the sounds that are triggering the waters, the liquid in the body, and the impact that it's having on the cerebral spinal fluid, um, that actually is more important for the neurological rewiring that she's undergoing. So, and whole brain activity again, not just about right brain or left brain, but whole brain activity. The other aspect that I'll share is it might be significant for other parents, like who have kids like Samantha, and how intense it's been for the last 7 years in particular for them, is that I got a sense from Samantha early in the week that she felt grief uh, about how her life has been for the last 7 years in particular. We used to go out a lot more. We used to go out to restaurants and eat, and we used to take walks through places and things like that. And, when she started banging her head into walls at restaurants and stuff, we had to kind of stop those kinds of things. So she's kind of had an isolated life, but the the most surprising thing, well, the fact that she felt grief, Terry and I both felt like, wow, she's having a real physical, yeah, and Kari says they haven't been out since 2020, to have that kind of physical grief feeling is significant for her embodiment in a sense, because that means she's more present, and to that humanness, to acknowledge that, look what I missed out, over the last few years. Um, but but also more importantly, it was I never had seen it this way before, but that when everything started opening up in 2017, that's why I started getting really intense, like the cosmos, access points that we were never had access to before, just started, everything just started opening up. And there's a flood of information coming in, all kinds of things that to her as a human, even, that it was a kind of a shock, not knowing exactly what's going on, but all of a sudden, like just being taken over by these downloads, just constant downloads, which is so energetically frenetic, just this really high frequency, things that have never been here before. You imagine that that's coming through your body. Um, and it was as if the right side of her brain had like a magnetic ball in it, and it was just drawing that cosmic energy. Uh, and so it's like an activation, not realizing as the human that this is what you were designed to do, this is what you came to do, and you don't know it. And to all of a sudden have that open up like that, uh, I, I mean, I had never seen it like that, where it was literally like a shock, you know. So, just it gave me a different appreciation for, what she must been been going through, and also for all the other kids that where it's just so intense, and they're hitting themselves and they're banging their heads, and the parents, you're trying to figure out what's going on, and you're trying to stop it, and why can't you stop it, and all this other stuff. But it just gave me a different perspective on it. But yeah, I mean, the waters. I mean, we've been working with like primordial waters in our Patreon group, and the liquid universes that opened up, and all the waters in our body, the liquids, because it goes through everything. It's in every cell. It's in between the skin layers, even though they're tightly woven together. But all that water has to go through everything. Um, so one of the things that I like to say sometimes when I'm doing this oneness kind of meditation, I shared it with doing with the 108 mala beads, but it doesn't have to be the mala beads, but it was just a way to track, is to say I am one with my waters are one with me, meaning all the liquid that's in our bodies, that's based on water, uh, and really kind of helping to cleanse that, right? Because they say what we're like 77, 78% water as it is. So the waters are very, very important. And you can also do, so any of the parents, you can do it yourself, because I definitely felt like Sammy is picking up on that, kind of watching my embodiment, feeling, sensing the energy, how that's moving into uh, that it's helping her as well. So when I do that, so I do like I am one with my soul is one with me. I am one with my spirit is one with me. I am one with my body is one with me. Um, you can do different variations, even going through each organ, the body system, because we're also now becoming whole. Uh, and we've been more left brain, our kids are more right brained, and so we're kind of bridging that, all of that together into oneness now. So, just an FYI if you want to pick up on that. Um, and I think I might have mentioned, I don't know if I said in the YouTube last one, or I mentioned it, right, about the organs, the yin organs, the yang organs. So consciously doing that sometimes, like the lungs, if I remember, are yin, and the large intestines are a yang. And so consciously, like my lungs, my large intestines are one, and breathing, that together, and it has a cleansing effect. And then my stomach is one with stomach yang, I think, and spleen yin. And so then the two, bridging those together, and the heart and the small intestines, bringing those together. Uh, the liver and the gallbladder, and bridging those together. So everything that was masculine, feminine, is being unified, like it or not. Uh, and some people won't like it, and some people will flip out some more. But, you know, yeah. So Primal Christ says it's been hammered down to land, this energy. Yeah, it is. It's very, very physical now. Very physical. So, anyway, all right. It's about 40 minutes. I thought I was going to be in for 15, 20. Just based, just seeing how Chris and Sam are gonna, what we're gonna do with it. So Chris is over there with listening to his iPad. Sammy's in her room right here. I can see her. So um, hope that's helpful to all of you. I was gonna write something, but sometimes it's just easier to record it and talk, and see what comes up. So thank you for joining. Last minute, I appreciate you being able, all of you being able to pop in and take a listen. So thank you, all of you. Yeah, thanks, Connie. I'm glad you were able to join. All right. Love you all. Bye-bye.